News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Twisted Sisters and Secret Sisters consignment shops would like to remind you that we have a variety of items from furniture to clothing at affordable prices. We're located across from the post office and we would love to show you around. So please come over and visit the sisters today. You won't be disappointed.
All right, this is Rick Vail reporting from the Murata booth at CES 2012. I'm here with Peter. Peter's going to tell us about this great new technology. Pete, tell us what it is, tell us how it works, tell us everything.
Well, Murata's been a leader in manufacturing very thin speakers for the past 2 or 3 years, and the speakers we found out had an interesting benefit in that they are actually waterproof by nature, and you no longer need a protective mesh that goes over a speaker like you would see with a normal dynamic speaker. So if you're trying to make a camera or another type of electronic device splash resistant or waterproof, and you want to have full sound, you typically needed some sort of barrier to prevent the water getting onto the paper cone of the device or getting inside in the electronics. It was not a waterproof seal. So if you can actually look here on our device, besides being very thin, you'll notice that one side is just basically a rubber sheet. And what Murata has done is on the other side of the rubber sheet attached a piezoelectric element. This element is actually the motor for this speaker. So we now have basically one side completely waterproof, the other side's the motor. This side would face out. You basically attach some sort of adhesion to the metal frame around it, waterproof epoxy or something of that nature. And this would actually face on the outside of the device and prevent water from entering into the component without any further need of an external mesh or anything like that. So cost-wise, there's some benefit to that because you're minimizing components and parts. And the other benefit is it's very, very thin at that point. So as you've seen throughout the show, there are many thinner and new devices coming out. And you get to the point where traditional dynamic speakers, probably as you get close to 2.5 millimeters thick, that's their current limitation. These devices start at 1.2 millimeters thick and go down as thin as 0.5 millimeters thick. The other nice benefit of it, they're typically used with very, very small back cavities. So if you've seen like subwoofers, they have these big cabinets, and those are mostly air suspension behind the woofer to improve performance. Even for these small speakers, they still have that in many cases. And as you get to something very thin, the cavities become very, very small. And for dynamic speakers, they have a challenge in that they're now trying to move against this very small air, and it's very stiff. And you don't have a whole lot of torque with dynamic to actually work in very thin cavities. The piezo, very high torque, and has no problem working as cavities as small as 20 cc's. So between that, thin and waterproof, it's kind of a win-win combination.
That is very impressive tech. Now, that speaker is extremely small. Could you tell the folks at home what sort of consumer-grade electronics something like that might be included in?
Well, I would look at it, maybe the most easiest thing is like if you want to take a camera down to a pool and you accidentally splash water on it, this would allow you to do that without worrying about damaging your camera. So cameras, remote controls, people drop remote controls in a glass of Coke or soda next to the couch and like, oh no. It could be in phones, it could be in tablets, any sort of consumer electronic product that you would really want to have full range audio, that's where you can do it.
That's very impressive tech, Peter. Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right.